Algebra 2, we are going to be starting on page 83, lesson 16, multiplication of polynomials, and then we're going to divide polynomials. So the bottom of page 83, you're going to see 16.1, and you're going to see this expression, 2x plus 2 times 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. And what we're really going to do is we're going to set it up in a multiplication scenario, because that's what the parentheses are telling us to do. So when you multiply these polynomials, you can put the 2x plus 2 on the bottom and then the longer polynomial on the top, but your text shows this this way, and I think it is a little bit easier. So let me just explain, okay? In red, I'm going to demonstrate how we're going to multiply. So we're going to multiply 3x squared from this one and then this one. And when we do that, 3x squared times 2x, we're going to multiply up, is 6x, and then we're going to add the exponents and it's going to be cubed. We're going to multiply 3x squared times 2, which is going to be plus 6x squared. Or, yeah, 6x squared, because there is no x here, okay? Now, we're going to do the same thing with this negative 5. We're going to multiply that by the 2x, okay, across. So it's going to be negative 5x times 2x, which is going to be a negative 10x squared, negative because of this sign right here, okay? And then a negative 5x times 2 is simply minus 10x. And then we're going to do the same thing with the plus 2. 2 times 2x, you'll note, is 4x. And then 2 times 2 is plus 4. Now, I want you to notice, okay, the arrangement of how I drop these terms. Okay, the x squareds are lined up, the x cubes, because there's no other one, the x's, and the normal numbers. So now we're just going to simply add to find our actual answer. Okay, so there is nothing to add with 6x cubed, so that stands. Okay, we have a positive 6x squared and a negative 10x squared, so that's going to be a negative 4x squared. This negative 10x and a positive 4x means we're going to have a negative 6x plus 4. So this is our completed answer. Okay, let's go to the lesson and do the one that's actually in the lesson. Okay, and it's a odd, but you need to be able to do that. All right, so let's set it up exactly how they had it set up. 6x plus 3, and then the larger nomial is 2x cubed minus 4x plus 3. Okay, all right, let's multiply these together. Okay, 2x cubed times 2x is 4x to the 4th. Actually, sorry, this is squared. Oops, I already made a translation error. Okay, 4x cubed. And then 2x squared times 3 is plus 6x squared. All right, now we're going to deal with this term. Negative 4x times 2x is negative 8x squared. Negative 4x times 3 is minus 12x. 3 times 2x is our positive 6x, and then 3 times 3 is plus 9. Okay, now we just add these together. So we have 4x cubed, and then we're going to have a negative 2x squared, and we're going to have a negative 6x plus 9. Okay, that's how we solve those multiplications of polynomials. That answer should be to number 9 in your lesson. Okay, all right, let's shift gears and let's go back to 16b, where we're going to divide a polynomial. Okay, so you're going to see divide 2 plus 5x minus 2x squared by negative 4 plus x. Actually, there's one more, plus 5x cubed. Okay, so how do we do this? This part of it goes on the outside, so we're going to say negative 4 plus x, or what we really want to do for this kind of situation, instead of saying negative 4, we're gonna put that in a different form. Okay, we're gonna say x minus 4, and the reason is we have to adjust all of these nomials to be in what's called descending order. Okay, and let's start with this. Okay, let's put it in descending order. So really it's 5x cubed. The next one would be 2x squared, 5x, and then 2. We rearranged this one, and then we're going to divide that by x minus 4. Okay, the x's go first and then the whole numbers, and you see it on both sides. That's how it is. Okay, so now what do we do? What do we do with this whole expression? Okay, we're dividing polynomials, so we have to figure out what we're going to have to multiply here to get a 5x cubed. Well, we're going to multiply by 5x squared, because 5x squared times x is 5x cubed. Okay, but what we do here with this one, we also have to multiply and add into this spot. Okay, so what is 5x squared times a negative 4? Well, that's a minus 20x squared. Alright, now here's where things get a little confusing. Okay, once you get to this spot, we are going to flip the signs. Okay, so we're just going to randomly, it's not random, but we're going to change this and give this a negative and this a positive. It's called the conjugate pair. And when we do that, we notice we can cancel 5x cubed out, and what we're left with is this problem, which now it's a positive 20x minus 2x. So we're going to say it is 18x squared, and then we're going to drop this term just like we would in normal division. Okay, all right, so how do we get an 18x squared? Well, we're going to say plus 18x, because 18x times x gives us 18x squared. So let's write that in. All right, but what is 18x times a negative 4? What does that give us? That's a negative 72x. But remember, conjugate pair, we're going to flip the signs. So that's a negative, that becomes a positive. This cancels out, and what we're left with is 77x, and then we're going to drop the 2, plus 2. Okay, how do we get 77x? We're going to say plus 77, because 77 times x equals that. 77 times a negative 4 is a negative 308. We're going to do the conjugate pair change. Okay, so now 77x's, and what we're left with is 2 plus 308, which is now 310. Okay, that's our remainder. That's what we have left. So what do you do with the remainder? Well, the remainder comes up here, and you're going to say 310 over this, x minus 4. So this is our answer right up here. Yeah, it's kind of confusing, but let's do the one in the textbook that you have, and I think you're going to see how this works. And I'm going to do number 11. Now let's do number 10, and I'll show you what's going to happen here. Okay, so I'm going to rearrange it. Here's what it looks like in your text: 2 plus 4x minus 2x squared plus 4x cubed by, and then we have negative 3 plus x. Okay, let's rearrange all this in descending order. So what we're going to do is going to say 4x cubed, and then drop the term minus 2x squared. That takes care of these two terms. Okay, plus 4x plus 2, and then we're going to rearrange this one and say x minus 3. Okay, how do we get 4x cubed? We're going to multiply by 4x squared. Okay, and 4x squared times a negative is negative 12x squared. We're going to conjugate pair these, change the signs. These cancel out, and we've got now 10x squared plus 4, because I dropped the 4 down. All right, what's next? X times, how do I get that? I'm going to add or multiply it by a 10x, because 10x times x is 10x squared, and then I've got minus 30x. I'm going to change the signs. Now I've got, this is done, 34x plus 2. Alright, so I'm going to say plus 34. Alright, so 34 times x is 34x, and then 34 times a negative 3. Gotta do this. Alright, 102, but it's a negative 102. Change the signs, which now we have this gone, and we have a 104, which is going to be my remainder. So 104 over x minus 3. So the total is 4x squared plus 10x plus 34, 104 over x minus 3. Okay, that's the answer for, should be the answer for number 10. Now, what if you get a problem like number 11? Okay, number 11, I'm going to redo this by saying x minus 4 divided by, and all they give in number 4 is a negative 8 and an x plus x cubed. How do we do that? Well, remember, we have spots for every term. Okay, because this is x cubed, we will put x cubed here plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 8. If we have this minus 8, we have to fill in this sign and this sign, and it's always 0x, okay? That doesn't mean that it's a 0, it's going to be multiplied to 0. It just means that we can actually continue to divide these missing nomials, because we have to get to this negative 8. So if you're missing nomials, put them in as said, okay? And then divide out just like we normally did. So number 11 is a little trickier because you have to add those in, okay? And in your lesson it shows you how to add those, okay? All right, that's your lesson for today, lesson 16, and that'll be due tomorrow, okay? Hope you have a good lesson.